Hey guys, I just wanted to talk a little bit about like the school shooting situation, and I don't know. There's a lot of people. It seems they really are focused on like it's a gun problem and stuff like that. And I guess it is a gun problem. I feel in a way, but like I guess because we teach our kids that to kill our problems, with the war and different tactics of how our societies are and has been for a long time now. Like really, I don't see that guns are there. Just because you can, you shouldn't always do something just because you can. Um, People think that's the main issue, and I feel like there are other issues that haven't really been addressed. I've seen a lot lately. They're talking crap about one of the main factors in like the shooters' lives in the school shootings is that they came from single parent households. Well, there's a lot of people that come from single parent households that haven't shot up schools, and I like take offense seriously for you to even take that route. Like, how childish can you be to even bring up something like that to be a contributing factor to something that's such a terrible, heinous act? Um, I remember when I was in school, I was picked on like relentlessly, and all the time. Like, I moved around, and every school I went to, it was the same thing. You know, all these kids in groups, especially like, and I'm gonna say this outright honest, like, it was a lot of kids that went to church together, and they would always pick on me, talking about, oh, your mama's a whore, or even when my mama did get married, they're like, oh, your mama and daddy, that's not your real daddy. Your mama's married to a man that, how, and people kind of teach their kids that's the right way to be. And I understand, that's a lifestyle choice, and you're trying to teach your offspring, things of, you know, that nature. But, when they're raised to feel so pompous and self-righteous about a certain way of living that they feel like it's okay to take it upon themselves to, attack another person and single them out in a group, especially like, and they feel they're honestly right and they're raised that way. And, when I was a kid, I figured, they're just kids. And, if, I always figured that mentality, people grow out of. And unfortunately, even as an adult, I kind of have found that people don't lose that mentality. They don't grow out of it. Like, once it's like instilled and they're ignorant to like such a injustice of acting that way, to the the little person, the one that's singled out, once that like ugliness is instilled in somebody, it's really, really a hard thing to get them out of, Then there's the issue with over the years, like, okay, I was in school when they had the Columbine shooting. That was like the first shooting, like, I guess of my generation. That's like kind of like, there wasn't a whole lot of that type of stuff going on before that. Also, there's been such a great rise in like the prescription writing and prescribing and giving out of like people, psychotropic drugs that, is basically, trial and error with this stuff. And the more I've seen that on normal in society, it's more and more common for these heinous acts to, been carried out. So I figure that might have something to do with, a contributing factor to this type of stuff. People feel like, I guess in our society, that, no matter what, there's got to be a magic pill that's going to cure a all your problems in your life is going to be magically fantastic and all the time, and there's no magically fantastic mode to life. You know, you take the ups with the downs and you learn from the experiences, hopefully. Try to hopefully get to the point in your mentality to know that, one of our main purposes is to raise our consciousness as an individual and as a society if we're ever going to get moved on. Like, I've listened to old old veterans of old wars speak, and even them, they're going to be the first ones that went to war and that say that there are no winners in the outcome of war. There's nothing that, everybody loses when it comes to stuff like that, and you can't kill your problems with a bullet. How many centuries and eons do we have to go on killing each other to figure out you can't kill your problems with a bullet? It may be a temporary solution, a permanent solution to a temporary problem, but eventually that problem's going to come back around and you have to face it again. Juveniles, I feel like they really have, it's really hard for them. Like, people, depending on what your class is, your society class, some people say, well, we have 2 months tolerance for some of these kids, but there's also kids out there that they catch no slack at all. Once they catch, they're just born into a certain class of society. They catch no breaks. They're on out after their birth. Like, it's almost like they can't even get out of it. It's really, really hard for them to escape it. Otherwise, and then there's kids out there, they're getting criminal charges for carrying out, doing stupid kid stuff that it's normal juvenile behavior, and they're catching criminal charges behind stuff like that, which can ruin the rest of their lives. And it really takes any kind of chance away from them. I understand that, we have this mentality as a society that and it's a good rule to follow, that, there's safety in numbers and stuff like that. But when your numbers are based on just, I'm right, and it is not a multifaceted, ideology, and you're just, carrying on these different things because of the group think and the group factor, and you really, really, really don't know what you're doing except carrying out the same thing that was carried out before. And I think, maybe that it's time for some of those things to change, because it seems like those things haven't truly worked, and the problems are only getting worse until we find our own identities and try to, go about a different thought process to solve some of these problems in this current society and stuff. I don't understand how we're going to get any further, because it seems like, when you have such a great amount of youth dying, some people say it's cooling the herd or something like that, but get real. I think there should be things, because there's adults that would be on the internet and out there talking in that kind of mentality, culling the herd, and then you got all these young, impressionable 13-year-olds or whatever out there reading all this stuff that some of these cold-hearted bastards are saying. And then, they deal with that all the time and see the ugliness. I won't even hardly comment on people's stuff, because you say one thing and people are just so confrontational. I am not a confrontational person. I'm not out there looking for a fight. I'm not out there looking to expel anger through an argument for a stranger. That I really, grow up, people. The internet wasn't out there to take out your freaking hostilities at all. Anyways, I hope y'all have a good one, and take care and try to make it a good summer. Peace out, y'all.